Hey there. Well, as you can see, I'm still at work. Third day of basically doing nothing. And I don't know, this is going to be a pretty quick one. Finished reading some books, and I thought I'd review one of them. And that would be this one, Libertarianism Today by Jacob Hubert. Now, I remember when this came out, it was reviewed in Lou Rockwell and Mises Institute webpage, and it had extremely positive reviews. Basically, the consensus was it was one of, if not the best, introduction or primer on libertarianism. The one book that was most commonly compared to was Rothbard's For a New Liberty, which is high praise indeed. So I was interested in it. Now I don't think that I personally in the position where I need to read a primer on libertarianism, but I'm interested in it enough to read it, and I also have a number of friends who I like to give these books to when I'm done, and this would be perfect. In fact, I had a specific friend in mind who had already read David Boaz's book, and from everything I read, this was a lot better than that. And so I thought that I'd get it and read it. Now, it's kind of expensive on Amazon, but I had a coupon, so got it. And I have to say, I really did enjoy it. I did learn quite a few things. It was fairly interesting. He takes it from the angle of not preaching to somebody, not trying to convert somebody so much as just explaining this is what libertarian positions are, and this is more or less why they come to reach those conclusions. And you can tell, like most libertarians, he's very self-aware. He realizes how insane some of this stuff sounds and how counterintuitive, and he acknowledges and he goes, well, he explains why we feel that it's not that bad. So, for instance, the idea that you should abolish licensing for medical care. We realize that sounds asinine to most people. He explains why not. He explains, like guns, basically that guns are basically catnip to American libertarians. Objectivism, economics, a whole range of topics. A lot of interesting facts. I will say one thing though. He is a lawyer. At one point, he kind of admits that he's in the legal cartel, and there's a disproportionate amount of information on jurisprudence or libertarian activism in legal affairs. And I found that all interesting because I actually don't know that much about it. I wasn't aware, for instance, that the plaintiffs or the lawyers in the DC versus Heller case were members of IJ, or that they were libertarians now. All I know about IJ is that I hear their advertising on FTL whenever I listen to it, which isn't that much anymore. There's a lot of information about IJ in there, and that's fine, that's good, but it's pretty clear that his bias kind of came through. There's way more information on that than there is, say, on the Free State Project or Mises Institute. I mean, those are all mentioned and talked about, but it's, I don't know if it's a failing, but it does show a bias. But if you don't know a lot about that, which I didn't, you actually do learn quite a bit. And so I don't know if that's a minus, really. The other thing is it's already a little bit dated. It says Libertarianism Today. It was written a year ago. For instance, he talks about the upcoming McDonald gun case in Chicago, which of course was decided probably right around when this book went to print or within a few months thereafter. I guess you can't really fault him for that. How is he supposed to know? But it's pretty persuasive. But of course, then again, it's hard for me to tell because he was definitely in this case preaching to the choir. But I think the fact that he knows how to self-evaluate, explain how most people would react to some of these positions, that makes him fairly persuasive in terms of people who aren't already, convinced by the idea. So it's definitely you know, you put this like with the Ron Paul book. It's definitely something that you read it yourself, and then loan it out to people. Like, that's definitely what I plan to do with it. I already know who I'm giving it to, and I think I already know who I'm giving it to after that, assuming he ever gets through it. So check it out on Amazon, or I'm sure they sell it at the Mises Institute as well. Interesting, lots of little facts, lots of good quotes, and that's it.